put your hand on.
No, I don't know.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Henry and Susan, and today we're going to be talking about what type of equipment you need to start a solar panel cleaning business. Now, I want to get to this and talk about the equipment that you guys should be starting out with and what you should be using, what some people are using, what some people are charging, and so forth. So when we get into this and we start talking about this, we're talking from beginners to intermediate to professional, what you should be, what type of equipment you should be using on solar farms, what type of equipment you should be using um, on residential rooftops, and everything else. So, if you guys have any questions, feel free to go ahead and just put it in the comments. Let us know. Just type it in. We'll get to you. I see Skylar Tejero from Hawaii in the house. Welcome. I'm waiting for Susan to get back over here so we can get started on this podcast. So that's what I'm waiting on because I got a lot of information that I want to be able to get out there and do. There she comes. Finally. Finally. So let's get started with this. Now, I want to kind of go with what new people, their mentality, what they're thinking about. And this kind of was one of the things that we had seen just a few days ago, where we had seen it in a Facebook post where you had somebody that was offering their services, and they were offering their services for $3 per panel and $20 for a travel fee. So $3 per panel and $20 for a travel fee. And his slogan or his catchphrase was, "Why pay for expensive cleaning?" Now, as a solar panel cleaner, I kind of look at this, being in the business for quite a long time, that there's new people coming in, new competition coming in, but that is their mentality. That's what they're thinking. Their thinking is, if we can price it out so low that they're going to get all the business. Well, they don't realize guys like myself will seek these guys out. We will call them, and we'll give them the hardest jobs that we can possibly find, like 60 panels on a 2-story house.
I didn't even see that.
It was on Facebook.
Oh, you didn't show it to me.
I didn't show you that? I know. I thought I showed you that. But we talked about it.
No, I don't remember seeing it.
There was a guy on Facebook, $3 per panel, $20. What do you think about that? For you hearing it for the very first time, what do you think about it?
Somebody wants money.
Well, put it this way.
Wants customers.
If it's 10 panels, it's $30. $30 and a $20 charge, that's $50 to clean 10 panels. What do you think about that?
Somebody really wants to get customers, and will go as low as possible.
It's cash. It's fast cash, right? It's fast cash for that. So when I saw the post on Facebook, it's in the Facebook Marketplace is where I seen it. We don't advertise in Facebook Marketplace for good reasons, because there are, listen, our prices will never ever go that low, ever go that low. we charge 3 times, 4 times more than what these guys are charging, and we're still getting business and still getting work. That to me is gas money. That to me is somebody who is a weekend warrior going out there and just doing it on the weekends or after school or what have you. So what really caught my attention was there was a bucket full of soap with squeegee and the customer's hose, and this kid was out there offering his services. He obviously didn't have the right equipment to do that, but that's what he was charging. So my point is that if you're going to get into this business, you really, really got to think about, your equipment. Okay. Also on the Facebook posts and marketplace, I happen to see 3-stage, 4-stage systems that people are renting out for $100 a day. Some are renting it out at $50 a day. And they're putting on the post, make as much as $500 cleaning solar panels per day. That's what they're selling you. They're selling you this dream. Okay. They're going out there, they buy this equipment, 4-stage water filtration, RODI system, and they say, rent this from us from $100 a day. Well, hell, if you do the math and somebody did that for a whole month, that would basically pay for that system in that month's time. So who's making a killing there? Is it going to be the guy who's busting his ass trying to make $500 a day? Or is it going to be that person that is selling that equipment at $100 per day? Now, this is why I wanted to get into the equipment. Okay. There's what I call stages. Okay. Well, when Rick and I started out, we started out with a 12-inch water-fed pole. And that lasted all of about maybe 2 weeks before we decided we're going to try something different because it was a lot of work. Now, there are guys out here that have the water filtration systems. They have the 4-stage, 3-stage, 4-stage systems. They have the water-fed poles, and they're cleaning the solar panels. And look, we're not saying that that's a bad thing. We are not. If that's what you are using and that's what you can afford at that time, so be it. But that is the cheaper of the route. There's other guys out here that are making homemade equipment from Home Depot, we've seen people that have bought brooms, put a sprinkler, put a water system in the front of it and using brooms to clean solar panels. We've seen that. And so you work with what you have. Now, if it was me and I was to do this all over again, knowing what I know now, well, you guys really need to pay attention to what I got to say after this, okay? Because this is going to help you out a lot. Do you have anything to add to this while we're on? Since are you good? Okay. So, and if you guys have questions, ask. I mean, that's what we're here for. Go ahead and just put it in there. Skylar says that's killing the industry of legitimate solar panel cleaners. We're finding out there's a lot of solar panel cleaners that are not insured. Well, those are the guys that are not going to get the industrial commercial accounts. They will never get them just because they're not insured, or they just don't have the right paperwork. Now, as far as certificates. No company is going to ask for a certificate for solar panel cleaning. They just won't, because they don't care. All they care about is making sure that your solar panels are clean, and they're clean in a timely manner. That's what they want. That's what they're looking out for. So let's start with residential. Okay, residential, you should be using whatever you have as far as a water fed pole. Now, I highly suggest, if you're going to start out with a water filtration system, and you're going to use a water fed pole to clean residential panels, use the widest brush that you can find, maybe like an 18-inch brush to clean solar panels, because the more area that you cover, the better off you're going to be. There's some guys out there that use borehead. They use the borehead bristles, and that's mainly to clean windows. But they do use that. So if you want to use that, that's totally up to you. There are guys out here that will use different type of machineries, and we're going to get into that. When Rick and I started out, we ventured on from the water fed pole to the rotating brush, and we did the counter rotating brush that's spin round and round there, and we were able to use that for a short period of time. It did a pretty decent job, but we just found out that it was a lot more work, because we had to use a high pressure pole to make that work. So when you're using a high pressure pole, then that right there is going to be a lot heavier, especially if you are stretching out 30, 40 feet. It's a lot more to work with on that. So then we ventured on to the C1000, the Solitech brush, and we use that ever since. And I love that brush. I won't go back to anything else, just because that is the brush for us, and that's the brush for me. And that's the brush that we are going to continue to use. Now, for those of you who cannot afford that, there's other solutions out there. You got the Solitech brush itself, which I use, and they come in two different sizes. They have the 18-inch and they have the 23-inch, and that one produces 500 psi coming out of that. So it's got a really, really nice spray. It has a really, really nice spray when it comes to that, and it is phenomenal when it comes to solar panel cleaning. I guys, I gotta cut in. Thank you, Gus Cordova, for the $4.99 donation. Man, we love that. We love that we get donations on this channel. We really appreciate you, Gus, and everybody else that's on. But we're going to give props to the guys that give us the donations. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Now, when it comes to residential, when we're using the Racenstein or the C1000, I'm sorry, I was reading the comments as I was saying that. But when we use the C1000, we can literally do 40, 50 panels in about 10, 15 minutes. And that's going over it several times. Now, if you are using a water-fed pole and you're scrubbing back and forth, that's going to take you, and you guys know how long it takes, on the average, around 40 to 50 minutes to do the same amount of panels, 40 or 50 of them. Okay. It may take you a little longer. It's a lot more labor intensive. So you want to make sure that if you have a lot of solar panel cleanings that day, you make your job as easy as possible. So these are some of the things that we see out there. We also see rotating brushes out there. Excuse me. We also see rotating brushes out there where they got the two round ones spinning around. We see those out there. They're being used more and more now. A lot of them are coming from overseas, from China, and they're out there cleaning with those. Which is, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, those are perfectly fine, and that cuts down on a lot of your time as far as cleaning some of these solar panels. Luis Rodriguez says, how's Mark's rotary brush? Well, Mark sells the Racenstein brush. Skylar says, what is your feedback on the J. Racenstein rotary brush? My feedback is, hey, it's another brush, right? It's another rotary brush. It's your preference. If you want to go out and you want to buy a certain vehicle, nobody's going to tell you which vehicle to buy. I cannot do the same. I can't sit there and say my C1000 is better than the Racenstein brush, nor I would say the Racenstein brush is better than the C1000. I would never say that. The proof is in the pudding. You got to use each brush and you will know. And it's your own preference, guys. This isn't a competition between a Racenstein brush or a C1000 brush. It's what I use is the C1000, and I love that C1000. There's several reasons why I like that brush. I like that brush because it's a smooth running brush. It has softer bristles, and I don't care what anybody says about it taking off bird crap on the first pass or whatever. I've never had an issue with my brush. And if you've seen me on my videos and you've seen me cleaning my panels, I can guarantee you, and I have videos out there, just look on my YouTube channel and you will see me taking bird crap off the solar panels on the first pass of that C1000. Now, there's other guys out there that have the Racenstein brush, and they sit there and they talk about the C1000, but yet they have a C1000 and they use a C1000. And I've heard stories of, I'll use the Racenstein brush first, and then I'll go to the C1000 6 months later. Well, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because dirt is still going to accrue in 6 months, and it doesn't make a difference if you use a C1000 or a Racenstein brush. Now, I'm not here to compare the two, nor I would never do that, because I've used the Racenstein brush. I've used the C1000. I prefer 100% my C1000. I like it. That's just my personal opinion. Now, you guys buy whatever you want. If you want to go to Mark at Air Pressure Washing and buy the Racenstein brush, buy the Racenstein brush. If you want to go and buy the C1000, well, we can point you in the right direction of getting the C1000 if you want to. If you look at most of my videos, people, you will see I get on every single Instagram, every single TikTok, every single YouTube short videos, what have you, and you see me using my C1000. And we even pulled out the Solitech brush, because we took both my transmissions, we took them apart, we sent them back to an individual. They went out there, they cleaned it for us, they got it all done, and it was perfect. It was routine maintenance for me to do that. I didn't do it last year, and this year I said, when I had some time, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to go ahead and just uh, have these rebuilt, redone, what have you. And I talked to the person who rebuilt it, and he said, "You know what? Says it works great. There was a couple of little stones in there and some jets that we cleaned out. Other than that, no broken gears, nothing. Everything was perfect. It was fine. And when I got them back, they were like brand new again. And man, I was like, wow." And I was ashamed that I missed that. But sometimes it happens. Okay. Now, let's talk about, we talked about, residential. Some of you guys out here starting this business and you're starting on a shoestring budget. You're going out there and you're trying to get the cheapest price possible. And here's the mentality of a lot of people when they get into this business. The mentality is we're going to start down here and buy the cheapest crap that we can find and work with that. And then we start making money. We're going to go ahead and we are going to upgrade. And then a year later, 2 years later, when they finally upgrade and make that big move, they were like, the first time they ever used the C1000, their reaction is, I should have done this 2 years ago. And you say, yes, you should have done it 2 years ago, because then you would have understood exactly what Susan and I were talking about. So that is residential. Now, when it comes to, we're going to go into commercial, and we're going to talk about commercial. Commercial, we kind of go a different route when it comes to commercial. Excuse me, gosh, trying to get over this cough here. We go a different route when it comes to commercial. When it comes to commercial, we think about what we're going to use is, say, for example, we have 200 panels to clean, 400, 1,000, 5,000 solar panels to clean. Now, we see a lot of people quitting their job, and they're basically just they get the contract and they're gone when they figure out they don't have the right equipment to clean this. It's going to take all day. It's going to be it's just going to be an all day thing for us. It's going to take a lot longer to clean solar panels. And while I get a drink here, Susan's going to explain to you the depth of say, for example, rooftop where we got 5,000 solar panels, what equipment you should be using. I'm going to take a drink. You want to take over on this real quick while I do that? Just talk about, what equipment we use and so forth. Okay.
Well, the equipment we use to clean rooftops, we use the C1000 because we can clean about 900 panels a day. So we can clean those, let's say, 1,000 panels in like it's an all day.
It's an all day thing,
but we can clean it in a day. So any more than that, it would take like a couple of days. But we always use the C1000 to clean, because if you use the Solotech brush, it'll take you a lot longer, and you'll kind of tire yourself out because you're scrubbing at that point, as opposed to if you use a rotating brush where it's constantly spinning and it's cleaning the panels faster than brushing it.
Yeah, you'll be surprised, because we thank you, Susan, by the way, but be surprised how many people use the wrong equipment, and then they realize that they're using the wrong equipment, and then they quit in the middle of the job, and then we get called out to go out and clean up some people's mess. But that's what a lot of the corporate accounts are going to be looking at. they're going to be looking at what type of equipment that you do have. So when you get into commercial, you want better equipment. Okay, you don't want window cleaning equipment like a water fed pole and brush to clean 5,000 solar panels, for example, because you're going to be out there all day trying to get this clean, and you're probably going to be burnt out within hours, and you just looking to see how much more that you have to do, and realize that you don't have the right equipment. So all we're saying is for commercial, for commercial, you want to use the bigger equipment. Um, we will use the C1000 for rooftops. We will use the C1000 for carports. And we were using the robot for a while on that. And then there's some guys out there that do use the robot and clean solar panels with that. But then you got to consider that you're going to be renting a boom lift or a scissor lift to go out there and clean that type of stuff. And you are definitely going to have to be insured, and you're definitely going to have workman's comp, and you definitely have to have insurance before you even step on commercial property, because they're going to ask for all that. So you got to be prepared for that. And so when we go out there and we talk about commercial cleanings and people getting into commercial cleanings, well, that could be a lot more expensive, because a lot of times you will find that you're spending more money up front just by going out there and cleaning solar panels for commercial and getting paid later, like 60 days later, 30 days later, 90 days later. And you're going to find out that a lot of your money is going to go really quick when you get into commercial and start doing commercial accounts. Okay. Then we get into, we're going to get into, for example, solar farms. Solar farms, unless it's not a huge solar farm, you're talking maybe 1,000 panels or less. Then you you are going to use a C1000 or a Racenstein brush for that to clean that. You're going to use some type of rotary rotation brush for that. You probably want to stay away from a water-fed pole and brush for that, because there's two things that you got to take into consideration. And when we talk about this, we talk about, are you using the right equipment? What type of equipment should you be using on that? And when I say industrial or commercial, you probably want to get into equipment such as high pressure equipment, like a high pressure hose. You want to get into DI tanks instead of the 4-stage system, because your 4-stage system will probably be burnt out by the time that you get done with 1,000 solar panels to clean. And it only produces so much water, so much pressure, which you need a lot of really tough cleaning for solar panels that have been out in the field that have dust all over them. And so you want the right equipment for that. So you want to use the rotary brushes like the C1000, even the Racenstein brush for that, to go out there and use. You probably want to use something like that for commercial and industrial. Also, you want to use the bigger DI tanks that will last a lot longer to fill up your tanks and make sure you have deionized water. When you get done with all these, your panels will produce a lot better, will produce a lot more energy, especially with deionized water, to where you don't have any spots on them. It's really clean, and that's very, very important. Some people would disagree with me on that, but they don't know and they haven't done the research. And I'm telling you, with our experience, you want to have something like that. Um, what's the Fluke IRR1 solar irradiance meter used for? Okay, so Lewis, and I'm gonna do this real quick because I'm getting off topic. But the Fluke irradiance meter is something where you can measure uh, the radiance from the sun to the solar panels. Okay, that's all it does. It gives you a degree angle, or if you can put it on the panel itself, it will give you the pitch on it, tells you what the degree on that is, which direction, and so forth. So we've used the irradiance meter. I like the irradiance meter because that tells me what I'm working with. But it does not produce the output of the solar panels. So I think Mark had brought up some Fluke guys out there um, to talk about another meter, which is a spectrum analyzer. That spectrum analyzer is around $6,000, if not more. And to me, it doesn't make sense to buy a $7,000, $6,000 meter to tell your customers you're only producing this much. Because honestly, I don't know any customer that really cares about a spectrum analyzer. All they want to know at the end of the day is, are your solar panels going to produce more when they get clean? That's all they want to know. So if I hope I explained that to you. I hope I explained that to you for the Fluke solar irradiance meter. But yeah, so let's get back on topic. I didn't expect to answer that question, but I'm here to answer your question, Lewis. So when it comes down to commercial, you want to use, like I said, a bigger system. You want to go ahead and use bigger DI-RO tanks to produce more pure deionized water. That's what you want to do. And if you can do that, your solar panels will come out beautiful. I cannot tell you, even with night cleanings that we do, you can't see the dirt. But if you use deionized water, you'll know the spots that you missed because it will show you, even under the moonlight, it will show you what parts you miss. And this is why it's important for us to use the deionized water, especially if we're working at night, because only so much light is going to be reflective on those panels. But when you're cleaning with deionized water, it makes a huge, huge difference. And it makes your job a lot easier. And by the time that these things dry up, you'll know if you missed a spot or if you didn't miss a spot. Hopefully I answered some of you guys' questions. We wanted to bring this up because, we see a lot of people getting into the business. We see a lot of people that are out here trying to start a business, and they don't know what to start with. They don't know what equipment to buy, what equipment to use, and what have you. So anything you want to add to that?
No, you pretty much said it all.
I guess I said it all. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. We wanted to talk about that today just because we wanted to make sure that you guys understood what you're getting into, what to look out for, and your competition and everything else. I mean, you guys got to be aware of that. And customers, you have to be aware of what people are putting onto your solar panels. Okay. what solar panel cleaners are using to clean your solar panels. You got to be aware of that. There's equipment out there that will scratch the heck out of your glass on your solar panels, and there's equipment that will do a great job and clean your solar panels the way they should be cleaned. And that's what you need to know. You need to know that you are out there using the right equipment, or they're using the right equipment to go out there and clean solar panels. It's very, very important. And if we can sit there and we can tell you what to look out for and you know it, you're one step ahead of the game when it comes to that. So, guys, I think we answered all the questions here. You guys been great today. Thank you, Gus, for that donation of $4.99. We always love that. I don't know why, but we appreciate each and every one of you guys out there. And so, with that being said, we're gonna say, hey, it's a good day today. We got work tomorrow and lots of work tomorrow. So we're back at it, working tomorrow. Things are picking up. Business is picking up. So, we're excited about that because, things are coming together with the weather and starting to get hot, 80 degrees out here in Los Angeles, which is amazing. And then as soon as it gets hot, guess what happens? The phones start ringing. And when the phones start ringing, business is good. And that's what you have to look out for, is that next phone call where people start calling you and going out there and, giving you the business. All right. Well, I guess we're done here. So we're going to let you go. And thank you guys for chiming in today. We appreciate it. And we will catch you guys on the next video. All right. This is Henry and Susan. And thanks for watching. We appreciate that. Don't forget to share this video. Give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it when you smash the like button. That helps us out on our videos. We really appreciate that. And thanks for the hearts, guys. Thanks for the donation. We really appreciate that too. With that being said, we will catch you guys next week. Same time, same channel. We'll catch you guys on the next one. See you guys. Have a good day. See ya. Peace.